I remember one night in particular, I don't know why, but it sticks out in my mind so much. Of all the nights I spent here, I had a little break and I was up on one of the scaffolding areas over there, and there was a big orange moon, and I just remember staring at it thinking, man, like, is chasing music a crazy dream, or is it possible? And I don't know why, but I always seem to loop back to that moment. When I think of that kid back then, you know, from a small town like this, it just seems impossible. And there were nights where I was in this place just thinking, you know, I don't know if it's gonna work. And to realize that a dream can come true is pretty special. So we're here at Steeples Ranch. Some of my earliest memories, fondest memories are of this place. You know, coming back, it's no wonder, right? Like, it's no wonder it's had such an impression on me as a kid. I think one of the things I'm most grateful for to my dad and to my mom was moving us out here. We were in the Okanagan. I have some real vague memories of the Okanagan, but Dad got a chance to be a ranch hand. It was a dream of his. He loves the hunting, the fishing, the countryside here. But yeah, just really appreciate that he brought us out here. I was going for a walk, you know, a little earlier and got choked up at the tree line there, just thinking, I was thinking, oh, I've come a long way. You're chasing a dream, but it's like I left this to chase it, and so, yeah. I love my life, but I left it here too, you know, and I miss it. It's a big part of who I am. How are you guys? I don't know how I feel about kicking off a show with me crying and all. It's too late now. It's wild looking at that footage. It's almost unnerving looking at it because do you guys feel this way? Like when you move away from home, you become your own person, but when you go back home, you kind of revert to that kid that you were and that person you were. And I feel that way when I look at this video. It's like, man, like, what am I doing on a stage? You're crazy, Dean. And so it doesn't matter, no matter what, I'm always nervous before I take the stage, but watching that stuff makes me even more just like, you belong on the ranch, dude, not out here in front of a bunch of people. But I moved to Nashville to be a songwriter. I loved writing songs. I'm not the best communicator, but I found that in writing a song, I could say stuff that I couldn't really articulate with just spoken word. And so that was my dream, to be a songwriter. And one of the songs, the song that got me started in all of this was a song called Brothers. I just finished watching a show called Band of Brothers, and I was just sitting there one night and just thinking, man, I just have so much appreciation for anybody that's fought for this country. I just really do have such an appreciation for you. And I want to send this song out to you. I appreciate you. And this country wouldn't be what it is without you. And so here's to you. The house was like a tomb. I was hiding in my room as my brother made his way on down the hall. I didn't want to say goodbye, and I was trying to deny there was a war, and that he'd got the call. I watched him from my window, walking down the drive. I ran down the stairway, through the front door, and I cried, you come back here, now let him see my tears. I said, I'll give you my rookie of the magic. I'll do anything you want, clean your room or wash your car. I'll do anything This is what brothers are for. I had my heroes, but the one I love the most taught me how to hunt and swing a bat. And I wrote him every night. I said I miss our pillow fights. Lately I just wonder where you're at. Sometimes freedom makes it hard to live. It takes things from you that you don't want to give. I said you come back here, I miss you being near, to laugh and fish down in the maple grove. Yeah, I'll do anything you want. There must be someone I could call, and just maybe they would let you come back home. Hero, this is what brothers are for. I may never have to face the anger of those guns, or lie cold and wounded in my blood, or know the sacrifice and what it must have cost for him to love me that much. It had been 2 years, and I held back my tears, and I saw him in that wheelchair on the shore. As I ran and held him tight, that's when he looked me in the eye. He said, I'm sorry that you had to push me home. I said, hey, this is what brothers are for. Come on out, fellas. Man, the thought of me doing a tour all by myself is just terrifying, so I had to bring some of the band. Most of the band, actually. Everybody on drums tonight, and percussion, Lau Mozan. Fiddle, Mando, and guitar tonight, Shane Gousset. And on 3 different guitars tonight, Jason Berry. This next song goes back in the catalog, back to that first record where Brothers was on, and it never was a single, but I thought we would share it with you because it captures a lot of home. You know, those clips you see, you're gonna see back home. It's like, every time I see them, every time I think about this song, Lazy Days, I'm like, oh yeah, Ernie's General Store and the stuff we did back then. And so, anyway, here's to Lazy Days and a Simpler Time. Let's go, boys. I love the way you twirl your hair, those overalls and flip-flops you wear, the way you smile waiting in your drive, hot Sunday afternoons. Now you didn't mind my rusty truck swinging by to pick you up. I missed your sweet face, it was 6 long days since I've got to hang with you. Throw 2 fly rods in the gun rack, sweet tea and biscuits on your lap, singing brown-eyed girl, my guitar in the barn shade. I number your freckles, the times your fishing line tangled, love on you in the middle by round bales of hay. It ain't hard to remember those good old lazy days. Can you remember them? Okay. We stopped by your just the moon trying to get you back. Grind all the gears while you just laugh. It was 12 on clock, porch lights turned off, and I was up the creek. We throw 2 fire rods in the gun rack, sweet tea and biscuits on your lap. Sing brown-eyed girl, my guitar in the barn bridge shade. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember your freckles, the times your fishing line tangled. Love on you in the meadow by round bales of hay. Oh, it ain't hard to remember those good old lazy days. Ain't it funny how we never could sell that old pickup of mine? Baby, grab the keys, I'll get the jumper cables, 'cause it's about time. We threw 2 flower rods in the gun rack, sweet tea and biscuits on your lap. Singing brown-eyed girl, my guitar in the barn bridge shade. Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember your freckles, and the times your fishing line gets tangled. Love on you in the middle by round bales of hay. It ain't hard to remember. Baby, do you remember? I think it's time we remember those good old lazy days. Thank you guys so much, man. In that town of lazy days and in those years, it was kind of wild. It was really wild to think that everybody kind of knew me. They knew who Dean was, and I kind of knew who everybody else was. And in a small town, everybody thinks they know everything about everybody. And so judgments abound, but at the same time, everybody kind of takes care of each other. And I love that about a small town. Honestly, in big cities, I feel like big cities are comprised of a bunch of small towns as well. People get to know each other. You get to know your local grocery. You get to know your coffee shop. And you have these little mini communities that make up this massive city. And I just find that so cool about human nature, is that we need to have our little community. And that's what this is all about. Here's the little places, big or small, where people know you by your first name. Here we go. It's a town just outside of nowhere, where the general store won't let it pour. We got wheat fields, sawmills, and coal mines, down home country folks. Raised on 4-ranch and dance hall auctions, spaghetti dinners and parking lot fights. How we might be a little backwoods, around here, oh, that's alright. People know you by your first name, what kind of truck you drive, how your team did back in high school. Oh, so you can't lie. Better watch out who you take home, 'cause round here it's a fact of life. If people know you by your first name, what you did last night. Come on down to our fundraiser dinner. It'll be a high school reunion, I swear. Another family falling on hard times. There won't be an empty chair. Listen close and you'll hear local legend of Boone and Crockett and that 12-point ride. Oh, you thought you were lonely skinny dipping the springs last night. Oh, but word here travels fast, where people know you by your first name, what kind of truck you drive, how your team did back in high school. Oh, so you can't lie. Better watch out who you take home, 'cause round here it's a fact. know you by your first name, what you did last night. That's right, well. Here we go. People know you by your first name, what kind of truck you drive, how your team did back in high school. Oh, so you can't lie. Better watch out who you take home, 'cause round here it's a fact of life. Yeah, people know you by your first name, what you did last night. Yeah, people know you by your first name, wow, what you do tonight.
We were at the place where I had my first job. I worked on and off here for, I guess, for 10 years, Galloway Lumber. It's about 10 minutes outside of Jaffrey, my hometown. All got stories about Spencer Clark. He was my first boss. He was totally terrifying. Like, as a kid, I was just like, you know, who's this guy yelling at me, screaming at me? I don't even know my job, and he's screaming at me. But I appreciated Spencer at the end of the day. You know, I think it's good to start off with a tough boss. He'd stand on top of here on this little catwalk and slam his blue hard hat, smacking the thing. Fucking Dean, smacking it. But he did it to all of us, so I was okay. I don't know if the guys were messing with me like back in the day when they said, you gotta wear your steel-toed boots because this thing will save your life. And basically this is a big metal detector. And so if you somehow fell into this conveyor system, it would, your boots hopefully would shut this off so you didn't end up down there. I remember at one point coming down here looking for Dwayne's thumb. Dwayne chopped his thumb off. We were all scrambling around looking in the conveyor belts for Dwayne's thumb one night. Poor guy. He actually, I think he actually drove himself to the hospital that night. He was here for like an hour and a half and then drove himself to the hospital. So, yeah, some pretty tough guys worked here.
Yeah, it's funny. Dwayne he was tough. A lot of those guys were really tough. That's the PG version of a story I could tell you from the sawmill. Worse stuff happened, actually, really tragic stuff. But it is wild, like growing up out there as a kid. I was like, man, it was really scary. And I remember my dad, he was funny because he was like old school. He's a ranch hand, of course. And he was so excited when I got my first job at the sawmill. I was like, oh, I couldn't even drive a car yet. And I was like, they had to drive me to the sawmill. And he was just so excited. He was so proud, you know, he was so proud of me. And I grew up around an entire community of those kind of people. I grew up on a heavy diet of Westerns when I was a kid, you know, Clint Eastwood and John Wayne, John Ford movies. And anyway, this next song, it was never a single, guys, but it was my most streamed song up until a couple of years ago, ever. And I think there's just there's some people that just really were drawn to this song because of the justice angle of it. But it was called Cattleman's Gun. We're gonna try to render it for you right now. His back, a preacher man with kind old eyes and a mystery for a past. He said he'd come to teach about the love of God, but he soon learned what they were missing there was justice and the law. There was a cattleman who claimed his clan owned all the land around. Ain't a brave fool that might be speak. He was quick to snuff him out. He'd say, take my heat, and you won't pay the price. His honor and a name forgiveness, while the other taught suffering. Preacher said deliverance could be found out on their knees. He'd say, I know you want justice and you want the love, but believe me when I say to you, don't try and be that man's judge. He's even running faster than that cattleman's gun. He's a rattlesnake on the trigger. Your last man of your line in the sand, falling to the slam of his hammer. One day a young farmer brought his sons to town for feed, and he noticed that the streets were quiet. He knew what that might mean. The smoke rose in the distance, his farm burned to the ground. He let the fury overtake him, the cattleman came back to town. Well, his boys ran out from behind the crowd, watched the day die. Big man laughed, said, now let anybody else begin to cry. But the church door was over with that black cloak flowing behind preacher's fiery eyes. He said, your ticket to hell is coming to you, and I got a hollow point to give you the ride. And the only thing faster than the cattleman's gun was the preacher man's hand and finger. Pull iron from the side and let that bullet fly, beat the rattlesnake to the hammer. While preacher prays forgiveness, all they finally understood. Under that sheepskin cloak of his was a history of blood. Bam! It's a nasty song. So we're, anybody slightly offended by that tune, we're gonna remedy it right now. I got a song I wrote years ago about hanging out with a bumblebee, honeybees, ladybugs, and squirrels. All right, you guys ready? It's a heavy song, here we go. I think this is from album number 2, but we had a lot of fun doing it. I never ever thought that it would be a hit, but it was, so here we are. And let's have some fun, here goes. Hoppers on the dirt road, falling in the air. Farmers in the orchard, ladders picking pears. Me and you driving Grandma's Cadillac, gonna have a picnic on a yellow blanket in the meadow out back. The honeybees, little ladybugs, squirrel behind a tree, hanging out with us. Gonna drink a sweet tea and a little cherry pie on a little yellow blanket, just you and I. Baby, let me hold you underneath the tree. We can sing some Whitley, strum a couple strings. You can have a dip from my new skull can. Chase you through the holler down into the creek. We can take a bath, baby. Honeybees, little ladybugs, squirrel behind a tree, hanging out with us. Gonna drink a sweet tea and a little cherry pie on a little yellow blanket, just you and I. All right, now, Shader, take us away. little yellow blanket if we wanted to. The honeybees, little ladybugs, squirrel by the tree, hanging out with us. Go on and drink your sweet tea and a little cherry pie on a little yellow blanket, just you and I. On a little yellow blanket, just you and I. I love you guys. I'm gonna tilt my hat up, so I want to be like super cool, and I feel like almost like this is like a safety thing for me to have my brim so low. But you probably want to see my face. I don't know. Should I keep it like this and like? Oh, okay, you're lighting me up from below now, Scott. I see you. Do I see what you're up to, Scott? Scott's our lighting director. He's like lighting my face from below. Damn it. I was hoping to hide a little bit, but I'll just tilt it back a wee bit so you guys can. So I can see you too. Honestly, I can't see the upper deck with this down. We're gonna pull this one out of the vault. We haven't done this probably for 9 years, I don't think. I just have a huge respect for a guy named Bob Marley. I love his music. I love reggae. But as a person, even as what he stood for, I was just like, man, this guy's really cool. And this is not a reggae song, but it speaks about one of the messages in one of his songs called Three Little Birds, and everything's gonna be all right. It deals with mourning, but I don't know, it's kind of a sweet song. It's an unexpected song. I didn't know that you guys would actually relate to it as strongly as you did, but we're gonna try to do it for you tonight. Here goes. I was a little boy and I took it hard when Grandpa had to leave. Grandma said, listen up son, I've someone I'd like for you to meet. And she pulled to the edge of the road by the riverside, cranked an 8-track radio. Man, come on, singing, everything gonna be alright. In that August sun, she smiled, her tears welled in her eyes. She said, sometimes it's gonna rain, even if you don't want it to. What you gonna do? Ooh, sitting on a riverbank. Ooh, arms hanging around me. Ooh, we'll sing quietly. Grandma, me, and Bob Marley. Hey, Paul, I think I'll get my vocal down just a tiny bit, thanks, but we're one day away from the most special day of the week. Friday. I bet Guelph knows how to do it Friday, and probably Thursday as well. And Saturday. But not a Monday morning. Not a Monday morning, those are the worst. You guys ready? Let's go Atlantic Canada, here we go! Come on, Shader, take us here. There's a place in town where we all hang out, where the country girls go and the boys get loud. When the whistle blows, we make quite the crowd. When the sun sets low on Friday. From the pubs in Ireland to Tennessee, from the west coast down to Myrtle Beach, out in every little town, here and in between. We know how to party on Friday. And the band plays on and the taps stay full. Boss man's yelling but we've all gone home. On a Monday morning I will atone, but tonight ain't Monday, it's Friday. Alright, well I like my job, but I love my friends. So you know where I'll be when the work weekends, at the little country tavern just around the bend. When the sun sets low on Friday. And the band plays on and the taps stay full. Boss man's yelling but we've all gone home. On the Monday morning I will atone, but tonight ain't Monday, it's Friday. There's a place in town where we all hang out, where the country girls go and the boys get loud. When the whistle blows, we make quite the crowd. Yeah, we do. Oh, when the sun sets low on Friday. And the band plays on and the taps stay full. Boss man's yelling but we've all gone home. On a Monday morning I will atone, but tonight ain't Monday, it's Friday. Not a night ain't Monday, it's Friday. Not a night ain't Monday, it's Thursday. Almost Friday.
Yeah, it was cool to spend a lot of time in this place. It's Fort Steele Heritage Town, just down the road from where I grew up. But oh man, when I was here, my imagination just went wild. Like I grew up watching Western movies, and I think it was a big part of, I don't know, it was the foundation to my songwriting. I'm a real visual songwriter, and so imagine being in a place like this as a kid. It just all comes alive. And when I wrote Bounty, I was thinking of this place. When I wrote Cattleman's Gun, I was thinking of this place. Drew a lot of inspiration from this town.
I'd say I'm a lover, not a fighter. Never stare nobody down. So one night my girl, I could not find her. She never made it back from town. I found my shining crown in the woods. A wicked thinking, man, he held her down. So I stuck him deep and I buried him good. Not deep enough to fool the hound. Beneath the blood moon sky, I bought a gun and made shit in my wife. We jumped in a boxcar, drove Mexico. But I ain't gonna bet my bounty back home. I ain't gonna bet my bounty back home. I trenched off in Tijuana. We built a shack beneath the sun. Tried to make my Shannon margaritas. We watch our children laugh and run, run, run. Sometimes I miss my dad. Sometimes I miss my mom. But I think they'd be real proud of me to know now that I took home. You can shelter in a chapel beneath the blood moon sky. I bought a gun and been sending my wife. She jumped in a boxcar, go Mexico. But I ain't gonna let it, my bounty back home. I ain't gonna let it, my bounty back home. Just what you need. You'd have broken my heart, you'd have haunted my dreams. Your love, boy, is all I need. Your love, boy's all I'll ever need. Yeah. We can shelter in a chapel beneath the blood moon sky. I bought a gun and made shit in my wife. She jumped in a boxcar, go Mexico. Let's go. It's amazing. Oh man, little known fact, guys, that song was called Ransom Till the Last Moment. I wrote it. There's a guy named Alan Doyle that wanted to come through town. He's like, hey, Dean. Yeah, great big see Alan Doyle. And Alan's like, hey, Dean, come through town. He was coming through Halifax. Like, we need to write a song. And I get nervous when I have to co-write. I really do. It's like, my whole experience in Nashville, I had 9 years consecutive publishing deal in Nashville. And I always was nervous when I had to write with people. And chances are a lot of them are dudes. And so you'd be in a room with dudes you didn't even know. Even if you know them, even if you get really good friends with dudes, it's like, the last thing I want to do with 2 other dudes or 4 other dudes, 3 or whatever, 1 other dude, is write a love song. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do that late at night, alone on a piano. Or with my ukulele downstairs in the basement. But anyway, so all those years I was a terrible co-writer. I always beat myself up, like I was the slowest cog in the whole system. It's like I just could not come up with a song, so I'd go home and I'd write my own stuff. And anyway, Alan was coming through town. I was like, I'm not gonna turn down an opportunity to co-write with Alan Doyle. Great piece of Alan Doyle, so I was like, okay. And I was gonna write this song, and it turned out he had to go to like New York or something and do something more bigger. And so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna finish it myself. And I finished the song and I called it Ransom. For whatever reason, I called it Ransom. And we recorded everything in Nashville. I got into the vocal booth, which is usually the last thing you do. And I'm sitting there singing a couple passes. And my producer's like, hey Dean, come on in, man. Let's just Google this definition of ransom. And he Googled it and right away I was like, oh no, this is terrible. Thank you, Matt. Like, he totally saved me some supreme embarrassment as a songwriter. It is a bounty, it's not a ransom. If it was a ransom, Shannon would be my captive that I was demanding money from her family from. But we turned it around and Bounty became this, a really big song, and thank you guys for that. It was really special. To see that So yeah, it almost became Ransom, that's terrible. This next tune we're gonna do was based loosely on a couple ride-alongs I did with my brother. My brother was RCMP, still is. And I've done a couple of really cool stuff. We've done raids, we've gone through like crack houses and all this crazy stuff. I got to handle a machine gun one time, it was super cool. But one of my more disappointing ride-alongs was we did beach patrol. And in my home province of BC, there's 2 lakes. And between these 2 lakes is a channel. And so you float the channel in the summertime. It's been going on for decades. You float, you blow up your inner tube and you go down, you take some contraband, just whatever down there. And then I was just like, it was such a happy day. It was sunny and I was hanging out with my bro. It was so cool. I was in the cruiser. And all of a sudden he pulls up beside what I thought was just some innocent kids having a good time. Just, whoop, whoop. And then he's like, hey kids, dump them out. I'm like, oh, come on, officer. And he's like, no, And then they start dumping their beer out. And I was like, what? What's going on? And my brother says to me, Dean, it's illegal to drink in public. How's that apple juice tasting there, Shane? Jason?
Nothing.
I didn't admire on you. But anyway, so we do more stuff, super cool. Then we go to the parking lot, same deal. There's these kids, they're so excited. It's like Christmas for teenage kids that have just gotten the ability to drink. 19-year-olds in BC. And they're like getting their Coleman cooler out and their beers and they're cracking them, they're drinking them, and blowing up their automatic blow-up things for the big unicorn floaty and the pizza floaty and the donut floaty. They got some rope tied together and he's like, whoop, whoop. And he's like, hey, dump them out. And I turned to Mark, I was like, come on, man, like you're totally ruining this whole vibe. Like, come on, this was you 3 years ago. This is exactly what you would do. And he's like, well, I learned my lesson. I was like, yeah, because you went to jail. He actually went to jail. It took him 2 extra years to become a police officer because he was just like them. So anyway, this song is loosely based on that. And Sergeant Alan Doyle does make an appearance in this tune. It was a single probably, 10 years ago, guys, but we have fun playing it for you. So here goes, Soggy Bottom Summers. Barefoot with a fishing rod and all of my good friends going down to the water. We gonna hop on in, tie us all together, inner tubes and blow up rafts. We'll float on down the channel like a barge or river raft. Floating down the channel, muddy water, July sun, just chilling in a dinghy, yeah, it's our feel fun. Happy, 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 hanging out with all my friends. Wishing soggy bottom summers never had end. Well, it's a hometown tradition, long weekends in the sun. Blue Jays on the radio, girls in trucks and mud. Pass the old Dutch chips around, throw some mustard on a wiener. Brewskis on the down low, so you don't get misdemeanors. Floating down the channel, muddy water, July sun, just chilling in a dinghy, yeah, it's idea fun. Happy, 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 hanging out with all my friends. Wishing soggy bottom summers never had to end. Safe on beach patrol. Watch out for that new one named Sergeant Alan Doyle. hear that sound, it's the worst day of your life, or one of them anyway. In England, yeah. It sounds like a UK siren. Broken UK siren, UK police, UK sirens, they don't give me any kind of fear or anything.
What about this one?
Is that an ambulance? Oh no, sorry, Shana.
It's a pedal.
We did not rehearse this, by the way. This is just happening. Okay, here we go. Where am I? Oh yeah, Sergeant Allen. It's been a heck of a week. Here walking the beat. I can't wait for 5 o'clock. I'm back to pound on my patio. Hit your right.